It's time for us to have an uncomfortable conversation about the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and his WWE Undisputed World Championship reign. The reality is that ever since Cody won the belt at WrestleMania 40 in one of the most star-studded, action-packed, and memorable moments in WrestleMania history, the expectations were through the roof, and we all were wondering, what would World Championship Cody be? And as we currently are in the midst of a build-up to SummerSlam, the reality is we have not answered that question. No one can tell me, or anyone for that matter, what the American Nightmare means. What does the character Cody Rhodes stand for, and what are his motivations at this point? And if you're telling me that there are none, and that the only real connection that people should have with Cody at this point is the fact that he is on this legacy building world title reign where he has won the title after a historic chase, that's fine, but it doesn't change the fact that it is boring as all hell. And I am not blaming Cody Rhodes. I want to be clear about that. At the end of the day, Triple H is the one who is booking the show. Triple H is the one who is drafting the storylines, signing off on them, and Triple H is the one to blame if these things on paper are not where they need to be, and they have not been. Even his championship feud with AJ Styles, while they had two really cool matches and one really great one in that I Quit match, the fact of the matter is it did not live up to the hype of what this should have been. This should have been Cody and AJ telling a story of their ties in Japan, their ties of what got them to WWE, and which one is better. But instead, we got a very watered down version of that didn't really translate. The promos were not hitting. Cody Rhodes on the mic in that promo segment with AJ when they were in that contract signing, it is honestly one of the worst performances of his and one of the worst written promos of his that we've ever seen. And you go back to what they've been doing since Mania outside of that with the Bloodline, right? The Bloodline stuff itself has kind of fallen off ever since Roman Reigns was taken out of the picture. There was a little bit of interest in Solo Sikoa, what he was going to do, and this takeover of the Bloodline. But regardless of who they brought in, it just has not been at the same level or even anywhere close to the same level. And at this point, we're all just waiting for Roman to come back. So when you have Cody, who is going into SummerSlam a little bit cold, alongside Solo, who's also going in equally, if not even more cold, it is a recipe to one of the most underwhelming builds in SummerSlam history. Because no amount of beatdowns are going to compare to what The Rock and Roman Reigns did in the lead up to WrestleMania, which we, again, literally just saw. There's no way that this version of the Bloodline can feel or be any more fierce than The Rock and Roman Reigns were. There's no way that they can put together the forces that are necessary compared to what Roman did at Mania to take the title away. So you have two acts that are relatively cold. You have a story that is, at this point, out of date and lesser than what they told going into Mania. And on top of it all, you have less stars involved and a more predictable outcome. And when we imagined what Cody's title reign would be, I think a lot of us imagined maybe right off the bat they would go back to the interesting story between him and Randy, which obviously they've been teasing, but the fact that we're now 4 months into this and they haven't even really gotten going with that, it just shows you that the priority here with Cody is not storytelling. They are not trying to tell good stories with Cody Rhodes. They are just trying to get Cody out there in front of the fans as the world champion and just get that reaction. And that is fine. It is WWE's business model. We understand that WWE at this point is bigger than Disney. They do not really care whether or not they're telling stories. What they care about is maximizing output, maximizing content, and ensuring that whatever they do doesn't hurt their standing or their star standing enough to mitigate their return on investment. So in a sense, I understand from a business standpoint why they haven't really told any interesting stories with Cody. At the same time, though, it is doing both the Cody Rhodes character and the fans a disservice. We all deserve to see Cody at his best, telling interesting stories that people feel invested in and that people care about. And we also, as fans, deserve the right to see the world champion involved in the most important stuff on the show. And if you go and look at all across WWE TV, Cody is far from the most interesting thing on the show. In fact, I wouldn't even put him at top 3 at this point as the world champion. I think in that respect, he falls behind Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. He falls behind feuds like Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. So we're looking at a place in time where Cody himself is just not the emphasis that we all believed he was going to be. And it's also a disservice to Cody himself, someone who chose to come back to WWE, who left AEW, left being an EVP, left all that entailed, and came back to WWE in order to get this world title win, in order to finally achieve his dream and that of his father, having a Rhodes hold the WWE Championship. And it's a great thing that he achieved it. We were all there and we loved the fact that he did. But at this point, we have to admit the truth, and that is, right now, Cody's world title reign is a failure.